Hello and welcome to On Point 1 Revision. My name is Zafar Iqbal and the topic for today is demand. In this video you will be able to understand that the demand is the desire to own something and the ability to pay for it, as well as quantity demanded is the amount of a good that buyers are willing and able to purchase. Furthermore, you will study about the law of demand. Demand refers to both the willingness and ability of customers to pay a given price to buy a good or service. The amount of good or service demanded at each price level is called the quantity demanded. Key term demand. It refers to the willingness and ability to buy a product. Market demand, total demand for a product. Normally, when economists refer to demand, they mean market demand. This is the quantity of a good or service that all the customers in the market willing to and are able to buy at different prices. By contrast, individual demand is the quantity that a particular individual, such as yourself, would like to buy. The relationship between market demand and individual demand is simple. Market demand is just the sum of the demand of all the customers in the market. Effective demand usually relates to market demand. This is the quantity of a good or service that all the consumers in the market wish to and are able to buy at different prices. To summarize, demand is the quantity of a good or service that consumers are willing and able to buy at a given price in a given time period. Quantity demanded is the number of units of a product that a household would buy in a given time period if it could buy all it wanted at a current market price. Ceteris paribus, all else being equal, the requirement that when analyzing the relationship between two variables such as price and quantity demanded, other variables must be held constant. The demand curve is shown as downward sloping curve to show the inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. As you can see, at price P1, the quantity demanded is Q1. But as soon as we decrease the price to P2, the price will decrease to P2. The quantity demanded will increase from Q1 to Q2. So as the price falls from P1 to P2, the quantity demanded rises from Q1 to Q2. Movements in demand curve. A change in the price of a good or service causes a movement along the demand curve. A price rise will cause a decrease, contraction in the quantity demanded of the product, whereas a reduction in the price will cause an increase, expansion in the quantity demanded of the product. In other words, we can say a fall in price from P1 to P3 causes demand to expand from Q1 to Q3, which is expansion in demand curve, whereas a price rise from P2 to P3 causes quantity demanded to fall from Q2 to Q3, which is contraction in the demand curve. Generally speaking, extension in demand refers to a rise in quantity demanded caused by a fall in the price of the product itself. Contraction in demand, a fall in the quantity demanded caused by a rise in the price of the product itself. The law of demand states that there is a negative or inverse relationship between price and the quantity of a good demanded and its price. This means that demand curve slopes downward. So when the price increases, quantity demanded will decrease, and vice versa. If the price will decrease, the quantity demanded for goods will increase. As you can see, at a price of $175, 3 printers will be purchased per month. On the other hand, if we decrease the price to $150, we will be able to sell 4 printers per month. At a price of $125, we are able to sell 5 printers per month. So we can observe, because of the decrease in price, quantity demanded for the printers has increased. So if we decrease the price from $175 to $125, the demand for printers will increase from 3 printers to 5 printers per month. We can observe that quantity demanded is increasing because of decrease in price. So there is an inverse relationship between price and demand. Moreover, if we set the price at $100, the quantity demanded for the printers will increase to 6 printers per month. Lastly, at the price of $75 per printer, the demand for printers have increased to 7 printers per month. So we can observe that if we keep on decreasing the price of the printer, the demand for printers is significantly increasing. At $175, we were only able to sell 3 printers per month, but as we have decreased the price of printers to $75, the demand for printers has become 7. So this is the law of demand. We can observe it here that there is an inverse relationship between demand of printers as well as their price. So instead of printer, if you have any other product, and if we decrease the price of the product, demand will increase. This is also called expansion in demand. And on the other hand, if we increase the price of the product, then the demand will decrease, or the quantity demanded will decrease. Expert tip: it is important that candidates demonstrate in their answers and understanding that demand needs to be effective demand. That is, it is not enough that consumers want something, they have to be in a position to actually pay for it. In answering questions on demand, it is useful to draw diagrams. The diagram must be accurately and fully labeled. It should also be large enough and clear. It is advisable to use at least 1/3 of an A4 size page for drawing a diagram. Be careful to distinguish between a movement along a demand curve and a shift in demand. The only thing that can cause a movement along a demand curve is a change in the price of the product itself. Anything else that causes demand to change would be shown by a shift in demand curve. A fall in the price of a product will make people more willing and able to buy it. A demand schedule lists and a demand curve shows the different quantities of a product that would be demanded at different prices. An extension in demand is caused by a fall in the price of the product, whereas a contraction is caused by a rise in the price of the product.